Okay, in this video, we're going to talk about perimeter and the area of a polygon. So, in the shape of a polygon, how do you find the perimeter? So, perimeter basically is you add up the lenses of all sides to find the perimeter of a polygon. So, an example, in this case, you just need to add this side, the sum of all the lenses of the side. So the perimeter equals to 5 plus 3 plus 6 plus 2 plus 3 plus 3, which is equals to 20. So that would be the perimeter of a polygons, right? 22 inches. Haha, I must do something wrong. This is 8. 8 plus 6 is 14. 14 plus 2 is 16. 16 plus 6, yeah, 22. Sorry, it's not 20. It's 22 inches. Okay, so for a rectangle, how do you find its perimeter? So special things about rectangle, because we know that the opposite side are equals to each other, right? So that means the perimeter of a rectangle equals to what? 2 times the length at 2 times the width. That would be the perimeter of a rectangle. So in here, rectangle have the length of 8 centimeter and the width of 3 centimeter. So the perimeter will equal to what? 2 times the length plus 2 times the width. So here is 16 at 6, which is also 22 centimeters. So now area. So what is area? How do you define area? So by the definition, area of parallelogram is the area of two-dimensional figure describe the amount of surface, the shape that you need to cover. Okay, so here is some examples. So what's the area of a square? So the area of a square is equals to, since the square, all the sides they're congruent, right? So the formula finding the area of square with any lenses is equals to the side square. What about area of a rectangle? The area of a rectangle is equal to the length times the width. So for example, a rectangle has a length of 8 centimeter and a width of 3 centimeter. Find the area. So the area of this rectangle is equal to the length times the width. So the length equals to 8 centimeters and the width is equal to 3 centimeters. So the area is 24 squared centimeters. You need to write the unit. Don't forget about the unit. Okay, so what about area of a parallelogram? So the formula of a parallelogram is similar to rectangle because you think about it. So here's the graph. You already seen it here. So if I move this part to this side, these two should be congruent, these two triangles. Then what do you get? You will end up to get a square. No, not square, I'm sorry, a rectangle, right? So the area of a rectangle is equal to the length times the width. But for our parallelogram, the length is what? Is the base. And the width basically is the height of the parallelogram. So the area of a parallelogram equals to the base times height. So for this example, we have an area of, this is a parallelogram. So the area of this parallelogram equals to the base times height, which is 8 square feet. I should put that. The unit is really important. Please keep the unit for your homework. Okay, so now example of area of a triangles and trapezoid. So for area of a triangle, so now when you look at a triangle, if you make another identical side, another like congruent one, so these two triangles, they are what? They are congruent. So that means congruent means what? The corresponding side, they equals, the corresponding angles is equal. And also the area should be equal. That's what they call congruence, because everything are the same. So now these forms are what? A rectangle, or you can also say a parallelogram. So what's the area of a parallelogram? The area of a parallelogram is equals to the base times the height, right? So what about, since there are two identical triangle, so that means one of the area is equals to half of the parallelogram. So that's why the area of a triangle equals to half times base times the height. So sometimes the height is a side of a triangle. That usually happen when it comes to right triangle. So when it comes to acute triangle, the height is inside of the triangle. However, when it comes to obtuse triangle, the height usually is outside of the triangle. Okay, so for example, this one, a triangle have the height of 4 inches and base of 10 inches. Find the area. So the area is equal to half height times the base. So half height is equal to 4, the base is equal to 10 inches. So when you multiply together, you have 20 square inches. Okay. So now what about trapezoid? So for trapezoid, to find the area of trapezoid, you need to take the average length of the two parallel bases and multiply the lengths by the height. B1 plus B2, which is the two bases, the parallel side, over 2 times H. So where did you get that? So you can think about, okay, for example, in here, it's hard to remember, but you can think about that. If you draw another identical trapezoid, this is become what? This is identical 2.2 and this is 2.8. This is going to be, oh, they didn't tell me. And then this is 4. So this is, let's say this is 4, this is 7. So, okay, so the green trapezoid, the one that I just drew, is congruent to the original one. So look, this is like what to you? This is a parallelogram, right? So the parallelogram formed by two trapezoid. So what's the area of a parallelogram? The area of parallelogram is equals to the base times the height. So the height remain the same. So what about the base? Look at this new parallelogram. The base is equal to what? The smaller base at the longer base, right? The bigger base. So we have one base plus another base and then times height. That gives you the area of the parallelogram. However, the trapezoid is only half of the parallelogram. So that's why we need to divide it by 2. So that's how you get the area of this trapezoid. Okay. So from the book, you will find some formulas about the different shapes, such as square, rectangle, parallelogram, triangle, and the trapezoid. So now let's working with the parameter and the trapezoids. The parameter and the area, I'm sorry. So now here's the shape. So look, I have a shape look like that, non-a regular shape. Okay, so in the blue shape, I want you to find the parameter and the parameter and the area of this polygon. So for area, it should be easy, right? Because you just add all the lenses together. We have 6 at another 6 at 9.5 at 11 at 3 at another 6, and the top lens is 18. So that should be the parameter of this polygon, which is equals to 59.5 centimeter. So what about the area? So when you look at to find the area, you can divide this polygon into 2 parts. One is, think about all the area that we learned how to find the polygon. We have a rectangle, square, trapezoid, triangle, and parallelogram. So if we can divide it into those shapes that we are more familiar with, it will be easier for us to find the area, right? So now I'm going to divide this into 2 parts. One is on top, is a what? Is a rectangle. And then the other shape is in the bottom, which is the dotted one, is a triangle. So we know that the area is equals to the area of a rectangle plus the area of a triangle. So for area of a rectangle, we know that it's equals to the length times the width. And for area of a triangle is equals to 1/2 the height times the base. So the length of this triangle equals to 18 times the width, which is 6, at 1/2. The height of this triangle equals to 9. And the base of this triangle is in here. How do we find it? This part, the red highlighted part. So we know that the total length of the base of the triangle happen to be one section of the length of the rectangle, right? So that means we can use the total length of this rectangle, subtract the 2 extra parts, which is subtract 6 and another 3 on both sides to find it. So that would be the base of the triangle. So this is equals to what? This is equals to 108 plus 1/2 times 8 times 18 subtract times another 9. So this is equals to 108 plus 14.5. So totally the area should equal to 148.5 squared centimeter. Okay, so let me recap this. So in this non-special shape, like really weird polygon, the idea to do this is you divide it into different pieces. You try to divide it into the shape that you're familiar with, you know the formula about how to find the area and try to find the area from there. Okay. So now let's see. Let's do another example. So Rosie is planting a garden with the dimension shown below. Okay. So let's say she has a rear garden. She wants to put a thick, even layer of mulch over the entire surface of the garden. The mulch costs $3 a square foot. How much money will she have to spend on the mulch? So this is 8 feet, 4 feet, 5.6 feet, and here gives the height 4 feet. And the base is 14 feet, and here's 4.5 feet, and here's 4 feet. Okay, again, this is a one of our special polygon that we know the formula with. But what we can do is we can divide them into different pieces, right? We can cut these gardens into 2 pieces. One is a rectangle, the other is a trapezoid. So that means the total area of the garden equals to the area of a rectangle plus the area of a trapezoid. Okay, so the area of a rectangle, we know how to find it, which is the length times the width. And then the area of a trapezoid equals to 1/2 the base 1 plus base 2 times the height. Okay, let's do the area of the rectangle first. So the length is equal to 8, the width is equal to 4. That one is easy. So now let's look at the trapezoid. We know that one of the base is equals to 14 square feet. What about the other base? The other base, this keeps switching. Okay, the other base is here, right? So this is happen to be the length of the rectangle. So that means this is also equals to 8 feet. Now times the height. Height is equal to 4 feet. Okay, so now we can compute this. So this is equal to 13.2 plus 14 at A equals to 22 times 4. So the area is equal to 13.2 at 14.4. So the area of the garden is equals to 17.6 square feet. But this is not done. We just know that, hey, the area of this garden is 76 square feet. What they want to ask us is how much do we need to spend on the garden. So we know that the mulch costs $3 per square foot. So that means the total cost of the mulch equals to 76 times 3, which is $228. Okay, so here is the area and parameter of polygon. Next time we'll talk about circle. I'll see you next time.